Hello everyone, my name is LokaCola and welcome to this channel update. It's been a very long time since I last did a channel update video, even though there's definitely been a couple of moments where that probably should have been necessary, but I just either wasn't able to or didn't have time to make one. But I'm making one today, and it's gonna be fairly big, probably, since since it has been such a while. This is definitely a general state of the channel update, where I will talk pretty much a little bit about how things have been going recently, but more importantly, what you can expect in the coming months in terms of content. Um, I essentially have this laid up as three different parts. One being talking about Weekend at Locus, what you can expect for that, with some happy hours thrown into the mix because it's well, I don't have that much to say about it. Then I'm gonna talk about the only in video gaming series, the different ones I have. Pretty much what you can expect for, well, first of all, which series are, or series S are still ongoing, since I don't know if that necessarily requires a clarification, but I suppose it might be worth bringing up, and certainly what to expect uh, for the next episode of each video series as planned, that is. And then I'm gonna end this channel update with basically a schedule. I think for the next 2 weeks at the very least, possibly more. We shall see. But anyway, let's start with Weekend at Locus, or maybe more appropriately, the streaming part of this. Or actually, I suppose I can start with how things have been going recently in general, and it's definitely been an odd one. Um, this entire year has been an odd one for me with this channel, in that the first half of the year it was only streams and no videos, and lately it's been pretty much just a whole bunch of videos coming out and then not as many streams as I had hoped, unfortunately. Um, and the reason for that is simply, for those who are unaware, I had computer issues at the end of last year. One of the hinges on my laptop was essentially breaking away. So it wasn't really anything to do with the performances of the computer. It was just an outside cosmetic thing. Well, actually, I suppose it's more of a cosmetic thing, since, I mean, if that thing broke off completely, then yeah, then the laptop screen isn't connected to the laptop, so that's a bit more than a cosmetic thing. So I put that in for reparations, and unfortunately, due to shortages of computer parts, my computer just wouldn't get repaired, so I ended up picking a new one instead. So because of that, I've just had this huge backlog of clips that have been to varying degrees outdated. Well, I say outdated, but I'm talking more in terms of clips specific to events and stuff like that. Like, say, if we take the Vanguard series as an example, like the Christmas event, that was a while ago, so it's a bit outdated. So because of that and the fact that it's summer, I just decided to make as many videos as I possibly can. So I've been having a fairly decently regular schedule for the last couple of weeks. And the plan is to keep forward with that at least for the next 2 weeks. At the very least, if possible, I would like to continue with it throughout August at least. But we'll have to see since I go back to work fairly soon. So that's definitely gonna have an impact on how much time I have for video editing and such. But yeah, let's talk about weekend at Locus. As I said earlier, it's been a lack of streams lately due to various reasons. Partly because my headset decided to half die, although it seems to be working. I don't know. I think it's probably singing on its like last legs or something. So it's probably time to, at the very least, start thinking about getting a replacement. But it's working, so I guess I'll keep forward for now. As well as there being vacation trips and planning for said vacation trips, birthdays. So I just haven't had much time or energy to stream this last couple of weeks, but I'm back with that at the very least. Um, and yeah, uh, I think what I'm gonna talk about a little bit in terms of weekend at Locus are a bit what you can expect in the coming weeks and possibly months. Of course, this schedule is, of course, well, it's not a schedule per se, but this list of games are subject to change due to, say, seasonal updates or LTMs or events or stuff that kind of happens that makes me go, oh, this is a good opportunity to play that game. Which, speaking of which, there are a couple of games I am considering for this week alone. A lot of them actually. For one, there's the Dawn Guard streaming series, which I am gonna continue with. Because it does seem that you guys enjoy it, and that makes me happy because I enjoy playing Dawn Guard. Almost said Vanguard. I enjoy playing Dawn Guard. I do really love that expansion, and I also like streaming it. And also, it just kind of came out as a happy accident in that, oh, it's the 10th anniversary for that, and my prior Skyrim streams have essentially been building up for that, which wasn't planned at all on my end. So that's a happy accident, to put it that way. So that's something I'm gonna have to get back to. I would have liked to do it last weekend, preferably, but I just didn't have a good opportunity or time for that. Other games I'm planning or considering are more Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, simply because of the Lego Star Wars summer holiday special thingy. Although because of the amount of games I'm planning, I'm also like, I don't know. Although that game has been requested at one point, it occurs to me, so I feel that one is definitely more likely than the other game I'm considering, which is Predator Hunting Grounds, because of Prey being released, this Predator prequel, um, which I wasn't really, thinking too much about. It was like, oh, well, the concept seems interesting at least. And then I saw that, oh, it's a Hulu original. And here in Sweden, or Europe, I suppose, like all of the Hulu stuff are part of Disney's Stars, which means it's gonna be on Disney Plus here. So I'm like, well, I have Disney Plus, I might as well watch it. So that's another potential game I've been considering, although probably the least likely. Uh, because the fourth game I'm also considering for next weekend, for this weekend, I mean, is Killzone Shadowfall, because of the news that they're gonna shut down the servers for that game alongside Killzone Mercenary on the PS Vita on August 12th. And I've never played Shadowfall nor Mercenaries, so I would like to do that, since it is kind of like the last remnant of Killzone multiplayer. And I did really love Killzone 2's multiplayer back in the day. I enjoyed Killzone 3's multiplayer as well, but Killzone 2 was definitely one of my top favorite multiplayer games of all time. And I doubt Shadowfall is on that level, but it would be a nice send off if nothing else. So that's so those are the potential games planned for just for this weekend alone. So at least one of them has to go. And other than that, what's coming up in the coming weeks, potential or possibly months as well, that I can think of, is I haven't done a Vanguard stream in a while, and I kind of had this idea that, I've been missing out on the last couple of seasons, but I guess I'll just jump into whichever one is on when I do get back to it. Then I realized that because of the seasonal contents being released in a fairly semi-specific order, where you can see, oh, this, this certain thing is from season 2, this certain thing is from season 3 or 4. I figured that, I could actually do like a seasons 2 through 4 blitz, that I'm calling it, blitzing through the seasonal content. So that's something I'm planning to do. Speaking of ongoing live service game, well, Warzone probably is gonna be something more of. If not anything more this season, then probably for season 5, since that seems to be the final Vanguard season, and there will also be a send off to the current Warzone before the Warzone 2 reset. Which I am looking forward to. So I suppose it will be a decent time to say farewell to the original Warzone. And speaking of ongoing live service games, there's Battlefield 2042, which is getting better, I will admit. I still don't think it's up to where it should be for a Battlefield game, but it's getting somewhere at the very least. And I did plan on having a kind of like a Fighter Friday centric stream on, since they added air superiority. So that might be the next thing, potentially before season 2, maybe. We shall see. And and also, since because of the upcoming Lord of the Rings series, I suppose that's another. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it yet, since it's on Amazon Prime, but that would be a good opportunity to play more Shadow of War. I also still have Horizon Forbidden West ongoing, and that is also a potential candidate, especially since I kind of was thinking about doing some sort of like journey to Ragnarok, as in God of War Ragnarok, but I don't know if I'm gonna get that game on launch, but I might still do that as kind of like a channel-wide series or something. I don't know, but that is a potential game to be played. There's probably gonna be more Ace Combat 7 streams as well. I think there's a free update coming sometime, apparently. So that's something that will be made content of. There was also a couple of noteworthy plane anniversaries for the recently for the 8-ton Warthog. I don't remember what anniversary it was though. It was the 5th anniversary of the test flight for the Gripen E, the current Gripen model. And just this last week was the 50th anniversary, I think, for the F-15 Eagle. So that's something that I've been also like thinking about. A little bit miffed that I missed out on the first two, and then the last one was kind of like, well, it's so close proximity to Shark Week, and I had essentially did my own Shark Week this year. But one plan I have, or I have two different plans, is that first being either to do those in specialized or uh, streams centered around each of those anniversaries in November, since I believe that's Aviation History Month or something like that somewhere. So that could be a good excuse. I think there's also Aviation Day coming up soonish if I wanted to do them in one stream instead. So we'll see what ends up happening, but those are definitely good excuses to shoehorn in more Ace Combat. Which, speaking of shoehorned in Ace Combat 7 streams, there is going to be another Raptor-centric one for the F-22B Strike Raptor. It was planned to be, since there was a Friday recently that was the 22nd as well, just like the last time I did the Raptor stream. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make that for reasons I can't remember. But there is going to be another 22nd on a Saturday, so not a Friday, but I'll take it. And then we'll see what other themed streams I can shoehorn in. If you think I've shoehorned in a lot of Ace Combat 7 streams, things could be a lot worse in that regard. I'll say that much. But that's more talking about potential games that's gonna come up. Then there's also gonna be another thing coming up soonish, because the last couple of years I've kind of been doing like a game journey each year with my friends Prentice and Daxter. 2 years ago we accidentally played through all the Battlefield games as kind of, I suppose you could call it like a road to Battlefield 6 or something. Since it was in that interim period of Battlefield 5 just got its live support ended, and now we're just waiting for when they're gonna announce the next Battlefield, which definitely wasn't gonna be anytime soon at the time. So that was actually kind of like a decent way to put that in, even though it was by accident. And then last year we did a journey through different battle royale games as kind of like a, I suppose, road to Warzone Season 3 with the Verdansk 84 map. So we played through PUBG, Fortnite, Apex Legends, rounded it up with Warzone. And then we kind of had a blackout epilogue later on. And at the same time, concurrently, I was kind of doing like going through the Black Ops games, since it was the Black Ops season. There was some zombie stuff going on in Warzone, and so it felt somewhat appropriate. And we're gonna make another one this year. So this year, what we're gonna do is a kind of like a combined road to Modern Warfare 2, combined with a 15th anniversary retrospective for the original Modern Warfare COD 4, since I don't remember what they released in November, but it's gonna be the 15th anniversary. So what we're gonna do is uh, essentially go through some of the major modern military shooters that we can play. So we're gonna start with Modern Warfare Remastered, since partly because of the upcoming anniversary, and also which we probably won't have time to celebrate properly, since we'll probably be busy with Modern Warfare 2, or Modern Warfare 22, that I'm gonna call it from now on, probably. Uh, so, and also because the original Modern Warfare, while not the first modern military shooter, it's definitely the most influential one, that impacted its entire genre and also the entire gaming landscape. So it makes sense to start with that one as well. Um, and after that, we're gonna jump on to Battlefield 4, since I mean it represents kind of like, since we're going forwards in time, but also backwards in time in a sense, since Battlefield went modern before COD. um, so it will essentially be going through kind of like the different stages of the modern military shooter era. With starting with Modern Warfare Remastered, how it impacted that, then going to Battlefield 4 and see how that series specifically was impacted by Modern Warfare, and also like having a completely different avenue of Modern Warfare, since that's also the nice thing where um, I feel COD represents kind of like the in between Battlefield's more large scale stuff and Rainbow Six's very extremely close quarter focused setting, which will be, Rainbow Six Siege is gonna follow Battlefield 4, um, and then after that we're gonna round it up with Modern Warfare 19, because that makes sense, of course. And then as a companion to that, I will also on my own play at some point Insurgency Sandstorm. I've been sitting on that game for a while now, but haven't had any chance to play it or make any potential content of it. Same goes with Chivalry 2, actually, which I've been also sitting on for a while. I actually ended up buying both two games fairly close to each other, as that was the time when I was the most unhappy with Vanguard and Battlefield 2042 and Warzone. So, and then funnily enough, I just never got around to play them. So yeah, that's what you can expect for Weekend at Locust this next coming weeks and months. Unlike last year's Battle Royale journey, we kind of had this where, every other week was a Battle Royale stream. The Modern Military stream won't be as strict, but not as spontaneous as the Battlefield streaming series. Although I suppose it would be nice if possibly we could, go through that entire journey in time for the Modern Warfare 2 beta, but we'll see. That would be nice, but I don't think we're gonna plan it for that. I don't think anyway. So yeah, that's what you can expect for Weekend at Locust. And happy hours. Yeah, I've only done one. There's been one or two other things I was planning, but then I just didn't feel like doing it for various reasons. I might, maybe today, actually, do a happy hour, since they're releasing the Terminator bundles for Vanguards and Warzone, and I might actually get them. And that's something that I feel like wouldn't necessarily qualify for a week in a locus. Certainly not this weekend where I have fairly specific games planned. Uh, if it were to be a week in a locus, it would have to be on a weekend where there was literally nothing going on. Or nothing else going on, but there was always things happening. But I think that could be like a decent excuse for happy hours, especially since, and I might have been too conscious about the fact that I didn't want to make the second happy hours on Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, since it was what I started out on, and I didn't want to repeat the mistake I did with Week in a Locust, where it was just Modern Warfare Remastered, Modern Warfare Remastered, Modern Warfare Remastered. um, maybe a bit too conscious about that fact. So maybe a happy hour later today, where I'll be back. um, but that's the streaming segment of the channel update. Let's talk about video series. Only in. Um, and I don't know if there's necessarily too much I have to go through. But I think it may be worth pointing out which series are active, although most of them should seem obvious. Like if we talk Call of Duty, there's Modern Warfare, there's Black Ops Cold War, there's Vanguard and Warzone. And they've all been getting new videos lately. Even though in case of Cold War it's only been one video this last week. But I still consider it an active series. And my logic for that is that because the COD, on one hand, it's just the same game, it's just the same series, Call of Duty. But on the other hand, since there are those different nuances between the studios, I feel like it makes sense to the way I'm thinking about it, at least, is to have like an active ongoing series for each, developer centric games, like Modern Warfare, being Infinity Ward, Cold War being Treyarch, and Vanguard being Sledgehammer. And then Warzone is, of course, where all of that kind of comes together. So that one also makes sense to have as a video series. There are a few exceptions, though, and I'm two exceptions, kind of. First being Black Ops 3. And the reason for that is, well, for one, I never had a proper ending to it, and I don't think I'm gonna have. I'm not gonna do one because it doesn't make sense to make one now. But also, I'm thinking that not just in terms of, like when the next like when Modern Warfare 2 comes out, that's gonna replace the Modern Warfare, or sorry, Modern Warfare 22 series is gonna replace the Modern Warfare 19 series. That makes perfect sense. Just like how Modern Warfare 19 replaced Modern Warfare Remastered. So by that logic, Black Ops Cold War would replace Black Ops 3. Well, yeah, it should. But on another, it shouldn't, because Black Ops 3 is a futuristic game with advanced movement, and there hasn't been another advanced movement COD since Infinite Warfare, and I never made videos for that, so in a sense it hasn't been replaced. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that while I did do an episode last year, I also have a couple of clips. I will say there's gonna be one fairly soonish, since it's gonna be the 5th anniversary of the Only in Black Ops 3 series. So that's one of those where it's sort of active, but not. I haven't found, I haven't felt the need to kill it off, for whatever reason. So that is still technically active. Same goes with, believe it or not, COD World War II, which wasn't really the plan originally. I did the one video back in whenever it was. I was planning to make another one, but then it never happened. And then I actually hopped on to World War II prior to Vanguard releasing. Since I kind of figured out, well, Vanguard's gonna replace World War II now, so I guess it would be nice to kind of make a proper World War II video since I wasn't too happy with the one I did. And also kind of as a farewell, I suppose. But due to the computer issues I mentioned earlier, that just didn't happen. And the original plan would have been for the that I would have released the second episode of World War II, and then it would be immediately being followed up by the first Vanguard's episode. But then when I got the computer back, that was my original thinking. But since I felt that because of there was more pressing clips videos that needed to be prioritized, as well as the fact that I had gotten the new computer, which I where I got all the Vanguard clips on, but I hadn't gotten my old computer back that had all the World War II footage, and I wasn't exactly sure when I would get the old computer back. So I decided, I'll just save the World War II video for later, since it is the 5th anniversary this year for that game, I believe. Although I might not wait until then because I don't know. I'm kind of taking any excuse to upload any video at this point because of how far behind I am and how much hard drive space these clips are eating up on both my laptop and my PS. And if we go to Battlefield, I know I made myself somewhat clear on that one. Is that 2042 is active, of course. It replaced Battlefield 4. Battlefield 5 is also active, although I haven't uploaded any videos of that just yet. I don't even remember the last time I played it, but I still consider it active. Partly because of how I feel about 2042, and partly because the plan has always been to give the Battlefield 5 series a proper ending, just like the Battlefield 1 series. That's why I still consider it to be an active series. Now, as I said, I might start thinking about, okay, are there any particular videos I would like to make of it before I end it and focus on that. But I'm not planning on ending it anytime soon anyway. And then we have Rainbow Six. That's still active, even though haven't. Well, I've uploaded a fair bunch of episodes lately. I don't play as much these days, but it's still active. So is Battlefront 2. Always gonna be active as far as I'm concerned, since I don't think we're gonna get a Battlefront 3 anytime soon. So yeah. Let's see. Titanfall 2 hasn't been replaced as far as I'm concerned, and I have put up videos. Not regularly, but I did one for the 5th anniversary, and I did one a couple of weeks ago, and I have clips for I have clips for one more episode. So yeah, I don't play it very often, but when I do, just like Black Ops 3, I just call it clips, even though I don't play it regularly. Let's see, we have only in Ace Combat 7. It used to be only in Ace Combat because the plan was to kind of have it a generalized, here's all the Ace Combat clips. But since in reality it is pretty much just Ace Combat 7, I decided to let's just make it a proper Ace Combat 7 series. And then whenever the next combat releases, this is gonna get its own series. And then we have only in gaming, which has been an odd one. When I first started doing that, it was really supposed to be this kind of, okay, these are videos I'll put up when I don't have anything else to upload, so that there is some content at the very least. And funnily enough, the way things have worked out, I just haven't had any any times where that been necessary. It's essentially grown into its own full-fledged series, which I still consider a little bit experimental, or at the very least, not having um, a one and final formula. Because I've been doing a little bit of things differently, like mixing, different games just for the sake of it, focusing on one specific game at a time, and then mixing games that are thematically similar to each other, or in some ways. Because the first episode was Friday the 13th. Well, it was only one clip, but still, Kingdom Come Deliverance and Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered. And these games don't really have anything in common. It was just completely random. And then there's been episodes like, I think it was episode 4 that had The Last of Us and Days Gone. And that's thematically similar at the very least. And then the only in gaming episode I released during Halloween last year, which was Hungry Shark World, Back for Blood, and the Halloween event for Rocket League. So it's somewhat thematically similar, but still a little different. But I mean, I feel like it worked. And now what I've been doing lately is trying to, theme them up with like what the clips represent. Like I did one focusing on unlucky moments, and then the one I uploaded this last Saturday or Sunday was kind of in that in-between space. Was kind of like the power of friendship, but also the cursed, cursed friendship moments. Although I should really say cursed Daxter moments. I don't know how he makes everything cursed. I guess it's his special power. So it's essentially been turned into its own full-fledged series that I'm doing different things with depending on what I feel like, or what I have working with. Like I can make specific individual videos for a game. I can make, mix and match as much as I want, whether by just complete randomness, just because, or by what the themes of each game. If they're both post-apocalyptic zombie-esque centric games, they work together, or if it's just like, okay, it's going for like a Halloween thing, so it's different aspects of, animal horror with sharks, as well as zombies, and then Batman in Rocket League, which isn't spooky per se by itself, but it was the Halloween event, so I guess it's spooky, question mark. You get what I'm saying. And I think that's all the only in video series. I'm just gonna quickly check so I haven't forgotten anyone. No, that should be all of them that are ongoing and worth bringing up. I think I had a plan of going through, here's what you can expect for each next episode for each individual series, but I think that might be a little too much, both for, well, since I'm already at 40 minutes just babbling on, and also because I don't think I have everything planned out for all of the series. So what I'm gonna end on is just a schedule of what you can expect video-wise at the very least. for the next 2 coming weeks. Although on my schedule, I have a proposed schedule for the next coming 3 weeks actually. But the next 2 weeks I can 100% guarantee at the very least. So today, by the time that you watch the channel update, assuming you watched it as it was uploaded, there's gonna be another episode of Only in Gaming, focusing on Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, specifically episode 1 and 2, since I got clips from those 2 episodes. No clips from episode 3, because that ended up being streamed as part of Weekend at Locus when I did that when the game released. So that's what you're gonna get for today, as well as possibly happy hours. We'll see. And then tomorrow there's gonna be a Warzone video. That might sound a little weird, like I typically upload Warzone videos on Wednesday because it's Warzone Wednesday. And the reason for that, I'm gonna get to it when I get to Wednesday's video. But this episode isn't just a regular Warzone episode. It's the 30th Only in Warzone series, if you don't count the 3 Modern Warfare episodes that were fairly Warzone centric. And I felt that based on the clips I had, the best way to really celebrate that is to have have it focused on a completely and totally normal day in the Warzone. Totally normal. Totally. Spoiler alert, is gonna focus on the April Fool's event on April 1st. And then on Wednesday, it's gonna be another Rainbow Six Siege episode. Reason for that is because it was, I believe, on August 3rd was the release of the Rainbow Six novel. And part of me feel that it makes sense to release a Rainbow Six Siege video on that day. Part of me also feels that is it wrong because the episode in question is gonna be focused on the Rengoku event, the samurai event, whatever. But I feel like that's actually a perfect representation of what Siege has become, even though it seems to be getting better. But it's definitely like, yep, this is what Siege was at a point in time. And then on the Thursday, it's gonna be a Vanguard episode. Possibly the first of 2 focusing on the Valentine's Day mini event they did for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't gotten to edit it just yet, but I have a whole bunch of clips, so I think it might be 2 episodes, but we'll have to see. And then on Friday, I'm gonna round it up with another Only in Gaming episode, and this is gonna be focused on completely on Predator Hunting Grounds. And this is because of Prey being released on Friday. So is this Lego Star Wars Summer Holiday Special, which was the original plan to have the Lego Star Wars video, but since it's on the same day, I was kind of like, what should I do? But the reason I'm releasing the Lego Star Wars video today is because today is the release of the Summer 2022 wave. Summer 2022 wave, there we go. So I felt that, I suppose that's appropriate. So it's gonna be focused on Predator Hunting Grounds, specifically being prey in the hunting grounds. And then it's gonna be followed up next week by a video focusing on being a predator in the hunting grounds. So for next week, the schedule is gonna be Monday. I have written Black Ops Cold War, but I think I'm gonna switch it out to Modern Warfare. Since it's gonna be centered around the Shot in the Dark LTM and it was originally supposed to be one of the Halloween videos, but I just didn't have time to release it. But I suppose it makes sense to release it now with the Rebirth of the Dead thing going on in Warzone. So I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing. The reason I was originally planning to have a Black Ops Cold War episode was partly because there's something with the 80s that just feels like summer to me, and partly because on the Tuesday, August 9th, I'm gonna be releasing the 4th episode of Black Ops 3, because it will be the on the day of like 5 years ago since uploading the first Black Ops 3 video, and since apparently I still consider Black Ops 3 to be an active series, well, it makes sense to be releasing one on the 5th anniversary, since I've been trying to do that for most of these series. Like I did that with Titanfall 2, I did that with Modern Warfare 19, as kind of like, well, this was 5 years since I uploaded the first only in Modern Warfare Remastered. Some makes sense with Modern Warfare 22. Unfortunately, I did miss out on the Battlefield 4 and Battlefront 2015 releases, original video series, but we can't have it all, I suppose. And then on Wednesday, August 10th, it's gonna be back to Warzone Wednesday. This episode will be focusing. It didn't really pan out to be like a Rebirth reinforced back-to-back series, but it is gonna be the final part of that specific event with the blood money mode. Then on Thursday, August 11th, probably, most likely, another Vanguard episode, assuming the Valentine's Day turns out to be 2 videos, or at least more than 1 video. And then on the Friday, as I said, it's followed up by a Predator Hunting Grounds video. And yeah, that's what you can expect for the next 2 weeks. I do have a kind of like a potential schedule for the week after that, but since I'm a little unsure, because I will be going back to work on August 11th, so after that, I'm not entirely sure how the video schedule is gonna look for the foreseeable future. As I said at the beginning, I'm gonna try to upload daily videos Monday through Fridays, if possible throughout August. But if you start noticing that, oh, there's fewer videos being released as time goes on now, well, that's because I'm back to work essentially. So that will be why I won't be having as much videos out, but hopefully I can keep it out throughout August, kind of like as a summer celebration. And then in September, that's probably gonna be when it's back to, at the very least, 1 video a week. But yeah, that was about 50 minutes of rambling, as I see on the time. It might be somewhat shorter after editing. But that is pretty much all I had to say about the state of the channel as is. Yeah, I do hope you'll look forward to the upcoming content. It's been fun making said content, and it's also been nice to hearing and seeing the positive reception to said content. I have been so entrenched in the video editing process that I haven't had much chance to really appreciate what I've been making, but I've been hearing and seeing positive results out of it, so that makes me happy. And that's all for this channel update. So that's I've been going through pretty much all I stand where, as far as content is concerned for the foreseeable future. And I hope you will enjoy said content. And I will see you next time, maybe later today, but if nothing else, you will have videos out. So you can hopefully enjoy that. And of course, you can also follow me on Twitter if you want more, like updates in terms of like if there won't be any streams. I try my best to keep things up posted there if there's gonna be a weekend without a stream. Um, so that's also a good place to go if you want to receive updates. Um, and yeah, have a good day, and until next time, see you later.